And the next sutta is 4.3.22. On a certain occasion, monks, I myself was staying at Uruvela on the bank of the river Naranjara under the goat herd's banyan, just after I had become perfectly enlightened. Then monks, a great number of Brahmins, broken down, old men, aged, far gone in years, who had reached life's end, came to visit me where I was. On reaching me, they greeted me courteously, and after the exchange of greetings and courtesies, sat down at one side. As they thus sat, monks, those Brahmins said this to me: "We have heard it said, Master Gotama, that Gotama the recluse pays no respect to, does not rise up in the presence of, does not offer a seat to Brahmins who are broken down old men, aged, far gone in years, who have reached life's end. Inasmuch, Master Gotama, as the worthy Gotama does none of these things, it is not the proper thing to do, Master Gotama." Then, monks, I thought to myself, in truth, these reverend ones understand not either the elder or the things which make an elder. Though a man be old, monks, 80 or 90 or 100 years of age, yet if he be one who speaks out of due season, who speaks things untrue and unprofitable, things contrary to Dhamma, doctrine, and contrary to Vinaya, discipline, if he be one who utters words unworthy to be treasured in the heart, words unseasonable and devoid of reason, words undiscriminating and not concerned with welfare, then that one is reckoned just a foolish elder. Though a man be young, monks, a youth, a mere lad, black-haired and blessed with his lucky prime, one in the first flush of life, if he be one who speaks in due season, who speaks things true and profitable, things according to Dhamma and Vinaya, if he be one who utters words worthy to be treasured in the heart, words seasonable, reasonable, discriminating and concerned with welfare, then that one is reckoned a wise elder. Now, monks, there are these 4 things which make the elder. What 4? Herein, a monk is virtuous, perfect in the Patimokkha precepts, restrained with the restraint of the Patimokkha, perfect in the practice of right behavior, seeing danger in the slightest faults. He undertakes and trains himself in the training of the precepts. He is learned, is replete with learning, is a hoard of learning. Those doctrines which, lovely at the beginning, lovely in the middle, lovely at the end, both in the meaning and the letter of them, which preach the utterly fulfilled, the perfectly purified way of the holy life. Such doctrines are much heard by him, borne in mind, repeated aloud, pondered over, and well penetrated by his vision. The 4 stages of jhana, sometimes translated as mental absorption, I prefer like states of mental incandescence. The 4 stages of jhana, which are of the clear mind, which are concerned with the happy life in this very world, these he wins easily, without effort. By the destruction of the asavas in this very life, thoroughly understanding the release by mind, the release by wisdom, he realizes it, attains it, and dwells therein. These monks are the 4 things which make the elder. And this sutta, we find the Buddha is trying to define what is an elder. What is an elder? Elder is one who is worthy of respect, is considered worthy of respect. And so the Buddha said it's not because a man is old that he's worthy of respect. If he speaks words which are not profitable, which are not valuable, which are untrue, etc., then he's just a foolish old man. But the Buddha said, 4 things make an elder, 4 things make a monk worthy of respect. The first one is virtue, that monk is virtuous, that's the first one. And the second one, he has much learning, has very much learning. That means learning of the Dhamma, the teachings. And the third one, he has attained the 4 jhanas, 4 stages of concentration. And the last one, he has destroyed the asavas. That means he has gone out of the cycle of rebirth. He has become an arahant. So these are the 4 things. The first one, you find sila is always very important. Sila is moral conduct. And it is the foundation of the holy life, of the spiritual path of a virtuous man. Moral conduct. Without moral conduct, you can't progress. There are some foolish people who think they want to practice only wisdom, and they think all the other things like keeping the precepts, doing charity, learning the Dhamma are not important. But you cannot make any progress without all these supporting conditions. For example, the Mangala Sutta is a very good sutta where it mentions all the different ways of attaining blessings. Sila is one of them, Dana is another, much learning, Bahusacha is another, visiting monks who know the Dhamma to discuss the Dhamma, and studying the Dhamma and discussion of Dhamma, etc. All these are foundations of the spiritual path which aid us to progress. And you see, the second factor mentioned here is much learning. Much learning. The Buddha's disciples are called Savakas. Savakas means hearers or listeners, and they listen to the Dhamma, all of them. That's why listening to the Dhamma is extremely important. There's a lot of people, they try to practice the holy life without this important foundation, and they may practice for 20, 30 years, but they don't make much progress, and people see that it's obvious to other people, but it's not obvious to them. They have a big temper, very egoistic, etc. So, much learning of the Dhamma is very important. That's why you find the Buddha's disciples were enlightened. Some of them are much faster than the Buddha. They came, listened to the Dhamma, and was taught by the Buddha. In a very short while, they were enlightened compared to the Buddha, who took 6 years of hard work to become enlightened. And the 4th one is the 4 jhanas. The 4 jhanas, if a person attains the jhanas, he's worthy of respect. That's why the Buddha said in some other sutta that if a monk can attain the jhana even for a short while, then the food that he eats, which are given by other people, he eats, he's worthy of the food that he takes, etc. And also he follows the Buddha's advice. He listens to the Buddha's advice. The last one, of course, is the highest criterion. He has destroyed the asavas. He has no more ego. He has destroyed the ego completely. That is a person who sees all beings as he's one with all beings, and he can never harm other beings. So those are the qualities which make a person an elder worthy of respect.